Hey guys, how's it going? It's Douglas here at Drown Boy Cosplay, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to paint your very own Papa One mask. This is a video series I've been getting requests on for a long time. Of course, as you guys may know, I do conversions on all the different Papa masks, and I have done many different versions of each and every Papa. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys everything you're going to need to do this, and it's really not that much. It's a pretty easy project. Out of any of the Papas that you could be doing, Papa One is a great beginner mask. So the first thing you're going to need to get started, of course, is a mask, a blank to get started on. The first option is going to be the Graylin Films Walter Gray. This is the actual mask that Ghost really used. This is the same one. Yes, the neck cut is proper. Everything on this is out of the same molds. This is the same exact type. Or you have the Your Dream Creations mask, which does not have the neck cut on the back. It is a full overhead latex mask, and these masks are different. It's not a recast. This is a sculpt. This is done in latex. This is the original. This is a foam latex mask. A lot of people really don't want to get the foam latex copies because they have this idea that they're going to rot away super quick. And I think that's due to some information that was put out there by AJ at the House of Masks quite a while ago. But really, I think his rotted away so quickly probably just from the way it was stored, because personally, I've had copies of these in my collection for 3 or 4 years that have had no signs of rot whatsoever. And I know a couple other people that also take really good care of their masks, keep everything like climate controlled, a nice even temperature, keep everything clean and regularly dusted, and they don't have any problems either. So really, I think you probably could go with one of these, but if you just want the latex version that will for sure last longer, or has that extended neck, I say go with the Your Dream Creations. Alright, next up, let's talk paint, because this is something I get asked about more than almost anything. And that is, hey Douglas, what type of paint do you use on those Papa One masks? They always turn out so good, and it seems that the paint stays on them actually. Well, it's because I don't use really crummy paint. I use Snazaroo. I keep a white and a black palette of it at all times. It's a little bit pricey, but it lasts a very long time. I've used these for cosplays, painting masks, and I've probably painted, I don't know, 50 masks off of one package of each. So they go quite a while. And just in my experience from using different types of face paint, different brands, this just has the best look. It looks the most accurate. The opaqueness of it is wonderful. It washes off very easy if you need to remove it. And it's just really good stuff. I strongly recommend using Snazaroo if you're going to paint one of these. Of course, a few brushes of different sizes. You might want a larger one for applying the majority of some of the face paint, unless you're just going to go with the finger painting method. Or we've got some smaller detail ones to get some of those proper little tiny accuracies that you might miss otherwise. And last but not least, this is completely optional, but I like to do this on some of mine, and I will be doing it on this copy for this individual. Keep scissors on hand as well, because some of these masks were actually cut. He cut the mouth out a little bit and also trimmed around the eye areas, because for anybody that's owned one of these Graylin film masks, they're not the most comfortable thing to wear, especially around the eye areas. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot to mention, and it is by far the most important part. Do your research. Decide which style face paint you want to do. Try to find as many pictures from that time period of that specific look, and of all angles, up close, far away, etc. Study the paint, because to get this to look accurate, you really have to pay close attention to detail, and not a lot of people do that. And if you get the Graylin film mask, it should be extremely easy to paint these accurately, because you're using the same exact canvas they originally used. So it's all up to getting the shape and size of the paint correct, and that's up to you. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright everybody, welcome to my studio, and pardon the mess on the table. This is where I normally do most of my sculpting, also pouring latex in molds, but I cleared off a nice little video spot where I can work on this for you. So the first step, after you've gotten everything together, you've got your reference pictures ready, is to really study the version of the mask that you're going for and discern whether or not it has any cuts or not. Some versions of the mask did not at certain points, and then later on, some cuts were added. And I think the reason for this is because Papa had a lot of issues singing with this mask on. Of course, this isn't a silicone mask like some of the later pieces. It's just foam latex. And while it does stretch easy, it's very difficult to sing through just this tiny mouth slit. So he actually cut the top lip off. It was kind of just a little bit more cut, but cut the top lip off. And if you watch some videos, he actually would walk up to the microphone and kind of put the mouth on the microphone and use it to pull the bottom lip open so he could sing. And I think that's where we got a lot of the smears on the bottom lip. That stuff did happen quite frequently. Also, this little area in the eyes, let me bring this closer so I can show you guys. This little area right here is the part that is most uncomfortable. Typically it digs into your eyes when you're wearing it. And if you look at it, he kind of cut it right along this ridge. So it doesn't really change the shape of the face. It just gets this bullshit out of your eyes. So what I'm gonna do is just take my paintbrush here, dip it in some water, get my snazaroo ready, and paint like a thin line over the area that was cut out. And I'm doing this pretty much just to mark it so that we can come back and trim that off later. Things don't have to be perfect when painting them on. Just pay attention to different angles of the makeup so that you can see if you're getting that shape correct. Alright, now after you've got those areas marked out, you're ready to trim them. It's really difficult for it to show up on camera here because these areas are very dark already from the paint that comes from the Greyland Films company. Carefully trim this little spot out. Much better. Now for the other side. And guys, don't be afraid to pull on this mask if you have to. Just be careful around anywhere that you've cut, because that's going to be a place where the mask is going to be really easy to tear. But if you need to pull away for different painting steps or to do trimming like this, it's no problem at all to pull on the mask a little bit. If you get a little face paint on the face, don't worry about it. That stuff wipes off. We've got the eyes trimmed. Looking at it from the front, everything looks good. Shape looks proper. I'm pretty happy with those eyes cut. I'm pretty satisfied. Alright guys, this is as close as I can get it where it still focuses, but if you look at the lip here, I've cut the lip, and it's hard to tell, but I've cut the corners of the eyes out here as well, and now the mask is ready for paint. Alright guys, so after I get him trimmed, I usually like to stick these guys on a foam head. It just really helps them like hold their shape whenever I'm painting on it. And also, I just want to give you guys a quick tip before I get started. This isn't something everybody has to do, but this works for me because I have certain issues whenever I'm working on these. I tend to rest my hands on the mask while I'm working. So, what I like to do is I start around the eyes, get the eyes first, then the nose, then the mouth, then move outwards. So I work from the inside out to keep from smearing any of my paint unintentionally. There will be paint smearing, but not quite yet. So let's get started. here's where we're at after doing the nose and the eyes. So, I wanted to say, I am applying this with a brush, but normally I do this with fingers only. I believe that the original person who painted this mask probably just finger painted it. That's what it looks like, and we will do some finger painting later on after we apply the white, just to really smudge this up and make it look more natural than just a paintbrush. But we're gonna go ahead and continue working on this. Alright guys, at this point the face paint is pretty much done. The black is done, it's pretty accurate, I've got it about where I want it to be, and at this point we're just going to be finger painting for a while. Most of the application is going to be just dipping my finger in a little bit of clean water and then the white, and then rubbing it onto the mask and filling in these areas. One thing I do want to address before I get started on that is there is no black line heading across the top. The face paint does not wrap fully around the top. There's a few pictures that have come out of these masks without the hat on. Finally, after all these years, we've seen Papa 1 without the miter on, and we know that the black line does not go over the top of the head. The paint just kind of fades up to the top here. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll get started right now. So at this point we've got a majority of it done. The eyes are finished, the nose is finished, the mouth is finished, everything except for the sides of the head and the final layers of detail, which will mostly be just taking some of these harsh lines from the face paint and kind of blending that in with some of the white. And you can do that just by kind of gently tapping and slightly smearing. You want to be really, really gentle because you don't want to add too much paint. You don't want to take too much away. And yeah, we'll just be going in here with some black face paint and finally finishing this guy up. Well, there you have it, guys. That's how you paint a Papa Emeritus 1 mask. If you guys follow this in close detail, you should be able to recreate this pretty easy. Like I said, these guys are pretty easy to paint. It's just paying attention to the close details and the shapes of the face paint to make sure that you get it right. And if this video does particularly well, I may look into also doing videos on Papa 2, 3, and 4, and maybe even a nil as well. I haven't had a lot of inspiration to do these videos because I don't think they're going to do super well, so hopefully this video does okay, and hopefully it's also able to help you guys paint one yourself. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to like and comment and subscribe. It does help out the channel and also makes me feel like making more shit like this for you guys. If I feel like nobody's going to watch it or nobody really cares, what's the point in putting in the effort to do this? So, hopefully this video does well, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Love you all. See you next time. Bye-bye.